Craft. This is the 4 a.m. update here from the National Hurricane Center, continuing to monitor Hurricane Laura. I mean, just looking at this image, it's incredible. We have a Category 2 hurricane on our hands, a well-defined eye. Look how this just basically encompasses most of the Gulf. Just incredible to see just off the coast of Louisiana. Outer bands already starting to make their impacts, and that's what we're going to continue to watch throughout the day. Let's talk about the latest advisory. Maximum sustained winds 110 miles per hour. I mean, 110 miles per hour. We're dealing with a strong Cat 2 hurricane at this point. Still moving around 15 miles per hour, so still moving at a decent pace. Let's talk about the latest track because there have been some new developments that have just happened at 4 a.m. It is expected today to strengthen to a Category 4 status just before making landfall. Now, landfall, it shows that right before it makes that landfall, it wants to weaken down to a Cat 3. But this is, I mean, we're talking plus or minus about an hour here. So a Category 4 hurricane just east of the Texas-Louisiana border. That's where we're wanting to put landfall. And these models and the runs have been very consistent over the past day and a half. So our confidence is starting to grow a little bit higher that this is where we're expecting landfall, right along the Texas-Louisiana border. Plus or minus 10 to 20 miles will make all the difference on the impacts that we feel here. Just any shift west will put all of those impacts to the west as well. But if not, most of them are going to head east into Louisiana. I'm talking about Port Arthur, Beaumont, Lake Charles. These are all areas that are really bracing for damaging, just serious impacts, not only tonight, but pretty much throughout the day tomorrow. Take a look at what happens. If it does make landfall as a Cat 3, it is expected to lift northward fast by midday tomorrow. We're looking at Hurricane Laura being in northern Louisiana and pushing out of the state maybe by early afternoon tomorrow. So this is all going to develop over the next 24 hours. And once it makes landfall, it's out of here. Take a look at the latest model runs. Pretty much all unanimous along that Texas-Louisiana border here with a Cat 4. It's expected to strengthen today, making landfall again right along the Texas-Louisiana border, potentially as a Cat 3. We will have the latest on air throughout the morning.
I mean, not just a chance of high storm surge at this point, but there will be a high storm surge. It just depends on where that center of the storm is going to hit. And we're starting to get, obviously, a better idea. Likely landfall later on tonight. So here is the latest forecast, and that is for potentially 9 to 14 foot, if not 10 to 15 foot storm surge there in southwestern Louisiana. So, yeah, if those boats are in the water, they are going to get moved around. So a serious situation there, not just for the boats, but for life. It is a life-threatening situation, so that's why there's evacuations in order for many in the upper coast of Texas and southwestern Louisiana. In fact, hurricane warnings extend well inland because the storm is going to be so strong. While it will rapidly weaken, there still will be the danger for those hurricane force winds well inland into northwestern Louisiana. Here's the latest from the Hurricane Center, and the satellite imagery showing you a rapidly intensifying and a rapidly growing hurricane now. Wind speeds at 110 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 15 miles per hour. One saving grace I think we can say with this storm compared to what Texas saw with Harvey is that this storm will be moving quickly so it moves in quickly, but it also moves out quickly as well. But still, it will bring with it very, very dangerous conditions. That eye is beginning to form as the eye wall is wrapping around the center of that circulation. Now the satellite imagery really picking up on that well, and it will likely continue to organize and strengthen as it approaches the coast. Again, continuing to strengthen, it becomes a major hurricane later on this morning. It's very close to it now. Likely a Category 4 hurricane later this afternoon. Maybe some minor weakening before it makes landfall, but still a dangerous storm as it starts to move inland into the mid-Mississippi Valley, continuing to weaken as it heads to the north and east. This is the latest European run for the forecast of Laura as it approaches the coast. Just look how strong those winds are going to be as it approaches the coast, and those strong winds coming out of the south is what pushes that water to the coast, producing that potential 15-foot storm surge in some places in southwestern Louisiana.
Indestructible shoes.